So I'm going to make, at this point, what I feel is the only point that needs to get made. All right? Look, throughout the last 23 years, all right? The amount of fucking court cases that have ended up because of people wanting to assume somebody thinking that they're above the law and wanting to argue, proving nobody is above the law. And oh my god, if this happens, it is going to be the fucking apocalypse. All right? Who was it that was going ahead and being the biggest champion of all those points? The biggest deflection point, every accusation is a confession. Lindsey Graham! All right? So now, Lindsey Graham, while sitting back and letting, deregulation of manufacturing plants, going ahead and adding a higher casualty, loss of life rate, while simultaneously corporate conglomerates end up going ahead and profiteering off of those the attempts of having to actually pay out, because of their lawsuits that they're attempting to dodge by going ahead and opening up shell corporations and limited liability companies to go ahead and be like, oh, they picked up the tab, but, that they're not financially solvent anymore. I'm sorry, the survivors are the people who end up not having their loved ones anymore. They don't... There's nothing for you. I'm sorry. Oh, the political fortunes aren't with you. All right. So now, while wanting to ignore about the fucking safety reports and incident reports with Boeing, because of the incident with API Electronics, that ultimately, what did it lead to? Oh, that's right. The World Trade Center attack ended up going ahead and completely offering a fucking shade over the fucking fire at API Electronics that ended up going ahead and magically destroying some safety reports. That it's pretty convenient considering Iraqi freedom, being the pretext to, let's ignore that incident. We had bigger things to deal with at the time. All right. Well, now, Lindsey Graham, it is 2024. You got a plane full of Canadians that were in a Boeing aircraft, all right, that the engine just blew up in midair. All right. How many survivors or casualties there are left? I don't know. All right. But there are officially more deaths than there were last month when I was getting mocked and fucking ridiculed for going ahead and pointing out what I pointed out. All right. Well, you're wanting to argue, oh, it'd be dangerous for Trump to end up getting in office. Yeah, no shit, it would end up be dangerous for Trump to get into office. And the fucked up thing about it is, ultimately, because of the factor of the military school he ended up going into, and the fucking laws that ended up going ahead and enacting the factor that if you've attended a military school in any capacity, you get put on the reserves list. All right, so if there's a draft, your number will be picked up anyway. All right? So now, my question for you. All right? Well, you wanted to go ahead with inaction and, just, let's talk about something else. Hunter Biden. Had an addiction. Applied for a firearm while there was an investigation. Was never told about the investigation. That right there ends up going ahead and taking out the knowingly part needed to prove, intent. So while you're fucking muddying up the waters, which, by the way, is an obstruction of justice and an abuse of power, my question is, how is your political viability worth all the lives of all those people that now ended up burning down in a fiery inferno, all because of the factor that the only thing that matters to you is to not piss off your fucking campaign donors? What makes your career worth more than those people's lives? All right? And the reality is, because of the factor of them being plain full of Canadians, ultimately, that ends up eliminating America's air superiority because that right there disincentivizes Canada from helping if fucking Russia ends up actually going ahead and attacking on American soil. You dumb fuck.